welcome back to Biashara Tuesday. Hashtag Biashara Tuesday. KUTV Rise today at KUTV_Kenya, at Richard_Okenye. That's how you get all of us here. Ukitupatia feedback, I'll be able to see it. Like I'm seeing here, Nana Muigai, ako pale tuned on Twitter. Don Jakojuang, of course, appreciating us all the way from Turkey. Asante sana Don for always being a fan of this show. Peter Wainaina, also see you there on Twitter. My sister, shout out to you. Don't know about this username, we'll have to discuss it after. But yeah, I can see you on Twitter. Thank you for tuning in to the show. I'm seeing also Limo and Jesse Kimotho. Asante sana guy for also supporting us there on Twitter. Laban Shaban anasema most talented presenter. I don't know. Thank you very much, Laban Shaban, for that comment. Continue giving us your feedback on social media, KUTV Kenya. We're streaming live. I'll continue having a look at what you guys are saying on the comment sections and also on YouTube. But Pia, right about now, we're getting into this conversation, women in business, right? And we're having it with Felister Muiruri, a reigning female leader of the year, Peace League Africa. She tells me she also does have an interest in politics, so I think we'll also have a look at that. She's been here before, if I understand that correct, here on the show with Ojwang Mariam on Throwback Thursday. Of course, one of the biggest fans also of Biashara Tuesday. Ojwang Mariam, shout out to you. And right about now, let's get into this conversation. You're in Kaha business. You want to get into leadership. You're also in business. I don't know where we'll begin from, but introduce yourself first to the fans of this specific show, and then we can go on.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Felister Muiruri, Executive Director, FESCA Hires, the Youth Governor Muranga County, and the reigning female leader of the year, Peace League Africa. Thank you for having me today.
A lot of titles there. Must be nice to be you.
Not really. I have been very well.
Yeah.
Business is well as well.
Business as well.
Yeah.
The car hire business, as an executive director, what do you do at FESCA?
All I do is I'm able to manage whatever is happening around, because you realize it's a political kind of thing right now. So most of the cars are going out for the political.
For the campaigns?
Yes, for the campaigns. So now what I'm supposed to do is I'm able to make sure that the cars are tracked, the cars are well labeled wherever they are serviced, and I'm able to coordinate between whoever is having the cars, the drivers, and everyone.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It's not really a lot of work. You know, when you talk about it, seems like a lot of work, but when you put it in action, when you finish one task after another, becomes a very big, a very small kind of role.
Or did you get into business first through the Kaha business, or did you build it up from something else?
This is not the first time I'm trying business. There are some businesses I've tried and failed. I had Face Collections, where we were importing socks. But anyway, every business has its own challenges. I had another one called groceries. It also went down. So it's a field I have been trying to get actually into.
I do think failing has been a good a good thing in your journey.
Yes, it has been, because you don't expect to win every time, and it has lessons as well. So the more you fail, the more you get to understand what I would have done better and what I would actually have done, Yeah.
Right. You see, I have tried business a few times, of course, but the number of times I failed is like I failed 2-3 times and I'm almost giving up. And this is, of course, something that is common with most people. You try 2-3 businesses, and then if you fail, you say, hey, maybe I'm made for the corporate world. Let me just go to do something else that is not involving me doing business. Is there a reason you keep going?
I believe I'm meant for excellence. And I believe there's so much lessons to learn in the business world that you can't just learn with one business and failing. What we are actually supposed to do is giving up sometimes. It is an option actually, but the more you think of what you're supposed to do and where you're headed to, makes you want to be better and be more of what you're actually supposed to do. So yeah, there are times maybe I'd have thought of giving up. There are times I'd have thought of it's not even working, so why should I even continue? But really, when we actually realize that there is more in us than, if this one failed, maybe this one can work better. If this other one failed, I can still try the other one. I have not really failed. I have learned lessons on what I should not do in the other business that I'm actually going to start.
All right.
Yes.
And what now informed you to go into car hire business in particular? Right now?
It was actually a weird way. A friend of mine called Felipe, shout out. He also does car hires. So I think there was a time we met, and he was telling me, you can really do this as a woman in the political sector. For me, it was actually like taking advantage of the political sector, because once you're in the political sector, you have to look for ways that you can actually salvage your name, make your brand, and also get into business. So that is how I got into it, and I just started it.
And plans after the election period, because after that, of course, there's not much campaigns happening.
First Car Hires was mainly created to provide cars for state corporations. That is after August.
That's your niche.
Yes, that's my niche. State corporations after August. That is the NHIF, UNICEF, UN. We've already been getting into contact with them. We've started laying out the dynamics and preparations for that. So that is a long-term goal for it. You realize in the business of car hires, as long as we are in Kenya, as long as we're in the world, you will still need to travel from one point to another. So now my solution is trying to convince you to take the easier one than just taking a public.
Or just buying one expensive car for yourself.
Yeah, or even hiring one. You don't have to buy. I will just provide it for you, as long as you pay me good.
Or is it, by the way, completely car hire, or is also people can make purchases?
For now, it's completely car hire.
Okay.
But as we get to a step further, we will increase. We increase as the time as we are growing. Other things come into place as well.
So anyone else who's not a state corporation should not be looking at you looking for a car.
Not necessarily. There is this one we call Muiruri. This one that we just give clients who are your friends. So it will not be really for state corporations alone. State corporations use V8s, Prados. But we have V8s, we have Demios, we have X-Trails that we can actually give to other people. So it's not as if we are shifting completely to the state corporations.
It's only that
what we are actually doing is that is our main niche.
Okay.
Now this other one will be something that we will still be doing, because that is what we are currently doing right now.
Okay.
Yes.
You're also youth governor of Murang'a County. And what does a youth governor do? Do you have like a cabinet of your own? And
yes,
MCAs?
there's supposed to be a cabinet. Really. A youth governor, I'm a youth governor under Youth Governors Kenya. So what a youth governor is mainly supposed to do is to represent the interests of the youth in the county assembly. We have so many funds that actually run about. The Enterprise Fund, the NGAF. So most of the young people in the counties don't really understand how to get these things. They don't understand how to apply for these things. So once what we do is we try so much to connect them to these kind of opportunities. So that's mostly my main role, making sure the youth are available, they are connected to these opportunities, they actually know what is happening. Knowledge is power.
Right. So
unless you don't know it, you will not be there. But at least when you know it, you will take a step further into getting to understand what it is about. How do I get it, and how do I grow with it? Because sometimes we fail because of lack of knowledge.
Right.
But once the knowledge is availed to us, I'm sure we can do a lot.
Yeah. Someone did sit here, which is the spokesperson of the government, that is Cyrus Oguna, saying that we find a situation where youth are complaining, kuna youth fund, lakini hatuipati. But if you ask them where they can get it at, they have no idea. So which means it's important that this information is getting to them. Has there been that progress, you feel? Are we getting more information to the youth to know where to plug into some of these connects?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. At least I will not say we are yet there, but we are a step closer to.
Okay.
We were not where we were last time.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I think I'll segue into women in leadership and women in business at the same time. Here in the... Yes, it was the Standard. They're giving out numbers in terms of how the voter population has changed in the past few years. And one of those things that I saw here, I remember, is the drop in the percentage of females which have registered.
Right.
And I think I already have that. Yeah, it shows that the number of registered female youth voters has declined by 7.7% from 2017 to 2022. I do know we've been struggling with apathy in terms of representation of women in parliament and also in business as well, and many other positions of leadership. sometimes it feels like we're making progress, girl child empowerment, and all of every movement that is geared towards ensuring women have a position in society, up to a point where sometimes you hear a few people saying boy child is neglected, which is still not the case, right?
Yes.
Have we made progress? When I see such reporting, it feels like we're making 2 steps forward and a step backwards. As someone who's been a leader and also in business, how does that situation look like?
According to my own point of view, the whole issue about voter registration is with all the youth, not necessarily the female youth.
Yeah.
So it is something that has been with all the youth who don't. I have interacted with some of the youths, and the reason they do not want to vote or to register as voters is because maybe the economy is bad. They feel that the government has not played its role. But you realize the next time someone gets into that seat, you will not be able to ask that someone a question. Why? Because I did not go to the voting booth and I voted for someone. So I did not exercise my right. So I'm not even supposed to ask anything because anyway, I did not do that.
Right.
I think that is where we are actually failing in understanding that. But the whole issue about female youth not registering, it has been in the whole circle, the female youth and the male youth as well, which I think is an issue that we need to address, but maybe it's too late, we will address it next time. Because when the youth feel we are the majority in this country, so if actually nothing happens to us, if the economy is hard on our side and we are not getting the solutions, what are we supposed to do? I think that is why they are trying to boycott it, because they feel as if they have been neglected and the government is for some other people. There's
no one who is relatable to some of the problems that they are facing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was having a discussion here a few minutes earlier with Juan Paul Wambua on the newspaper section, and he's also saying that's why you get a situation where populist ideas which have been associated with, for example, this time round, one Professor George Wajakoya saying that youth are not seeing someone who's speaking to what they want as solutions to to what they've been facing, fresh ideas. Everyone is giving same old rhetorics. We'll promise this, we'll promise that, and we'll give you this. Do we need the youth to vie? Or how can we change that situation?
Obviously, we need the youth to vie. We cannot be able to have representation and the people to hear our voices if we are not in that place. What I'm saying is that we have to own our seat at the table. We realize that when we own our seat at the table, our voices are going to be heard. We are really not going to be people at the back waiting for someone to fight for us. We are going to fight for ourselves. And it's actually commendable that some of the youth are actually coming out and vying.
Right.
I have some few friends, Kasti Misheni, who is vying for MCA, Governor Kuruma. So some of my very few friends are actually vying for seats. Why? Because I think we have realized that the more we depend on other people to carry our own voices to the table, it becomes a very big problem. But the moment we come and explain ourselves, this is what we want to do, this is what we are facing, because I am a youth and I understand what I face as a youth, which is actually what every youth is actually going through. The moment I say that as a youth, and we are many in the assembly, that means we will be able to push for that bill to be had. I think you've seen how bills are actually done in parliament.
Yeah.
The more we are, the numbers, when the numbers are many, it's going to be very easy. It's very favorable for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Position of women in leadership. This time round, we're looking at a situation where there are 2 hopeful deputy presidents in 2 teams who are female. And of course, the most popular of the 2 sides, that is with the side of the Roots Party, which has a female running mate, and also the side of Azimio, La Umoja, where we are seeing Martha Karua. We've been in a situation for a long time. You've been youth governor, youth governor.
Yes.
And of course, also we've seen in other counties where guys who are going for governor position picking running mates who are female. We have seen, some also vying for governor positions, Nakuru, senators, and all of that. Are we almost there? Are we getting where there's, equity and equality?
We are almost there. But let me hope for, we might be having women in the leadership sector, but what are they doing for other women? All I'm saying is for them to make more room for more women to have their voices to be heard, which is a very good thing to have a woman as a deputy president. You know that.
Yeah.
It's been a while we've had something like that. Hopefully in the next few years, my mentor, Commissioner Ambo Inyoto, will also be the president, you know.
Nice.
So it's a step further to making this to that gender role actually get to where we are supposed to be. Because when you see a woman, there's something you always see. You know, we say what you give us is what we nurture. We transform it into something better. So now when we see, it's let me say it's something that we're celebrating as women in Kenya, to see people believing in us and people believing in our leaderships, you know, and us actually going for seats makes the whole country, you know, I can be able to sit with you in parliament and I can be able to articulate my issues and I can be able to be heard, which makes it better.
Right.
Yes.
Now, if we get more women in positions of leadership, I know that for quite some time, even in business, it's been quite difficult for, you know, women to make a breakthrough. We know for sure that most of the CEOs of these big firms in the country have been led by men, years in, years out. Most of the higher positions, even in places of government and some of the parastatals as well. If you get more women in leadership, will that make business easier for women as well? And in what sense do you see that happening?
I wouldn't say that. I think what we're actually supposed to fight for is timely, innovating and personalized solutions for women. We might be having many women in the sector, but what are they doing?
Okay.
You know, you realize we have to trace it down to some other people. Now, unless I hold someone's hand, it will just be me who is there in the leadership space. It will just be me who is there in the business space. But how many people have I held their hands? Sorry, but this is what prompted me to start something that I'm launching in the next month called WOL. WOL means Woman Leader, where we will be having aspects of each, and if there's the women in judiciary, women in STEM, women in government, we are partnering with Sandbox to make sure that the young girls, the young women, the young female like us don't really lack mentors. Because you realize, if I am in the political sector, sorry, but a woman in the judiciary is really in a very different field from what I want to grow in. But how do we bridge the gap between the women who have already succeeded and the young women who are struggling to succeed? Now, WOL will actually come to bridge the gap between those two, which will actually be able to bring up entrepreneurship spaces, because we will provide grants for the opportunities around here in Kenya. So as I'm saying, not necessarily having so many women in space, but we can have one woman who is making a very big impact to the country. You can feel the impact. I think that is what we are actually fighting for right now.
That is more important. Sending that elevator back down to the other women who want to make their way up. Now, as someone who's been in the space for quite some time now, what are there unique bottlenecks that you feel women have had to undergo in business or in leadership that are unique to them, aside from men, that have made it difficult for women and made it easier? You know, maybe is it the structure or how things are done, or is it the political space? Why is it easier, you feel, for men to thrive in most of these spaces than women have been?
Women are also thriving right now. I think we've come to realize our potential and everything. In the few years back, I'm sure as a woman in business, you will not be able to stand in a board or go to a board and make your presentation because it will seem like, why is she doing this? Why is she doing this? These days, you can just walk into somewhere, you can book an appointment, and someone can see you and not see you as a woman, but see you as someone in the business world who is articulating their issues and who is solving a solution. Because you realize entrepreneurship is actually trying to solve a solution that you have seen somewhere. Unless you're solving a solution, then you're not in business. Okay. Yes.
Right. So providing a solution is the core business of everyone.
Yeah, it's less about product and more about solutions.
All right.
Yes.
Now, into the future, are you looking to get into the business of politics actively? And how does that look like?
I'm already in politics actively and I'm already in business actively.
Right.
Yes.
Talking about elective positions.
Yes, I will. I'm not quitting politics anytime soon, and I don't see myself quitting anyway. I will go for an elective position in the next elections that are coming. Yes.
Is it the elections that are coming? That is
in 2027.
What didn't you do this time?
You have to set out some few strategies for you to be able to do that, and also you have to be I think you have to learn to be first sustainable for your own self, so that I'm already in politics, and is my business well? Is it sustainable? Can it do without me? Am I able to connect these two? Am I able to balance between politics, and am I able to balance between business? Because you realize once I'm into politics, if let's say I was vying now, I will not be able to actually manage the cars that are out and the cars that are in, because I'm tired. I have nimeshinda mashinani, so I'm so worn out, and I'm coming here, and I'll not even be available for this, because it's 8. You're waking me up at 8, and I have to go somewhere. I have a meeting with some people out there.
Right.
So I think I have to learn first the balance, because every day is a learning day. So there are things we need to unlearn, and there are things we need to learn as well. So until you reach to that point where you feel I am now able to balance between these two things that I'm actually doing, then I'm good to go.
Right.
Yes.
A very important thing that you said earlier, I would like us to maybe hear a bit more about, is the issue of a mentor. Would you say it's actually really important, both in business and politics, or just when it's in politics? Because business is money and pesa ni yako, wejipange na pesa yako. Or should we get, as a young woman who's out there, should they go out and get a mentor if they're trying to get into business or into leadership? And how should they determine who's to mentor them? Most people also say they don't have a mentor. I don't have a role model. I'm my own role model.
That's allowed, but let me just say it's really important to get someone who has passed that stage where you are in right now. It actually speeds time for you to be able. There's some mistakes I will avoid if I have a mentor, because she passed through that same way. She passed the same way I am going to. So she will tell me, Felister, you're not supposed to do this. Felister, you're doing this the wrong way. So the whole issue of a mentor, because by the way, I've had so many young people saying, I don't need one, I don't need one. But I would really say it is very important for a young person to have someone like that. It makes us accountable. Why? Because I'm doing something, and I remember I am accountable to someone. So it's either I do it excellently or I leave it. Because someone will call me and ask me a question, why did you do this?
Right.
And you realize if I don't have someone who is asking me, I can do anything recklessly. I can just decide I'll wake up at 9, I'll wake up at 10. I can stay in the house the whole day. Well, you realize it is in my age to be productive. Unless I am productive at this time, it will come an age where I will want to be productive and I will not be able to. Right. So let us get mentors in these fields. Let us actually get to understand, sit down with them, let them tell us what they have been through, where they're actually going to. And these people are available. Let me tell you, whatever you're looking for, you will always get it if you actually decide to go for it. So once you decide that you're going to look for a mentor, they are there.
No one's going to turn you down.
No one's going to turn you down if you actually want to grow. Because if you want to grow, there has to be someone who has passed that same. I'm not the first one in car hires, and I will not be the last one in car hires.
Right.
There are so many people out here who are doing the same thing. But what will make me stand out
is
I get someone who has been experienced in that field and showing me the way and telling me, you don't need to buy this car, you need to buy this car. You don't need to give out this car. This one is not in the market. Now it makes it easier for me, because I won't buy a car that will stay in the showroom for like a month before going.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So you need an accountability partner and someone to show you the way.
Exactly.
As you go on.
Yeah.
The car hire business, where is it at?
We are situated at Ngong Road, but mostly what we do, we deliver the cars to you wherever you want to be. Because right now, actually, let's say if it's a governor who needs like 10 Prados or V8s, we take them to where they are. If they need it chauffeured, we have drivers as well who will take them around. Yes.
Do you ever run out of vehicles? Maybe someone calls and you're like, they're all out.
Yes. Yes, it is something we're actually experiencing right now. Most of my friends actually in the business are actually saying of that. We really need cars. Please, people will buy cars and give them to us. We really need them.
Because, do they give them to you or do you buy them?
We buy them. There are some we buy them, and others we actually get into a contract with them.
Okay.
It is two-way. I buy cars, and I also have to, maybe someone like you buy a car and you have two and you don't want to sell.
Oh, and I want to give you one.
And you
want
to give you one. So now we get into a contract with you, and I tell you this is the amount of money I will be giving you per month for your car, as long as your car has a tracker. Because every business has its own risks.
Yeah, I was going to ask that, by the way. Have you ever been afraid that hii kienda inaweza kwenda Uganda haitarudi?
And that is why we don't accept cars that don't have a tracker. And all our cars are always insured with trackers, because I ask you, when you're a client, I ask you, so you need a car, yes, for how many days? 10 days. Where are you going to? So that if I see the car at the border, hey, I will call and ask, what is happening? Where are you going to? And you know, with a truck, I can be able to stop the car. I can be able to just, you can't be able
stop
to drive. Yes, I can be able to stop it where it is until I come and get the car for myself. Okay. It's a business with risks. You give someone a car, the person is reckless, they get into an accident, you know, maybe they're arrested by police because of some very petty issues. Yeah, so I think
these are also things you have to deal with.
Yeah, the things you have to deal with on a daily basis because you're called, Sasa, my car is here, it has been hit, you know.
Makosa imefanyika.
Yeah.
Nikwambie na usijam.
Yeah, no sikasirike, don't even get mad.
Right.
But I think there is no business that is always good completely. There has to be some few things you have to handle it. And these are the challenges that make us want to grow. These are the challenges that make us want to be better. You know, because I also have to do a check of you. Why are you asking for the car? Are you sure you're not going to do drugs with it?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not going to steal with it? Because you realize some of these cars, this is what happens.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe a last word into women who want to get in such high-risk businesses. What will you tell them? And, you know, maybe a few guiding steps. Do you want a mentee, by the way? Do you take mentees?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So if they
I do
want,
mentorship in high schools.
All right.
Just recently on Sunday, I was in St. Charles, Luanga.
Okay.
Yeah, it is something we want to see passed on to a generation. As we are saying, I cannot, if I succeed alone, that is not a convoy. But if we succeed when we are many, it means I will be proud. I can call you and tell you I need this, and it will be very easy for you to give me. But I'm in a field alone, I will not be able to, I won't even be happy.
Right.
Because I'm in a certain kind of field and I'm only alone.
You're in a
field.
bubble.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Your last words, and then we can wrap it up.
Okay. I'll just say an empowered woman is powerful beyond measure and beautiful beyond description. So really, let us not fear to go into these spaces. There are risks, yes, but we can do it. Every morning I wake up and tell myself I am enough. And whatever is going for me for the day, I can actually do it.
All right. That is great. Thank you very much, Felister Muiruri, who is, of course, I didn't get to ask you that question.
Yes.
Female leader of the year. Maybe just real quick before we go. Female leader of the year, Peace League Africa. How do you get to have that, and what does that mean for you?
Peace League Africa is an NGO, or let me just call it an NGO, that make sure there is peace in Africa. It is in like 5 countries. So in Kenya, at the end of every year, they usually appoint a female leader, a person who has done tremendous things in leadership space, which is a male and a female. The male is called Steve Chege. He's vying for senator in Laikipia County. And now I'm the female one. I'm so proud of that.
Right.
So they actually try to look at what you have been doing and what you actually are aiming for.
Okay.
Because obviously, as I'm building wall, I'll have to get into a partnership with them because they're into so many countries. They also connect you to opportunities for your women. For the people you are actually leading, the youth and the women who you're actually leading. So this is what happens. They usually, they give you a trophy, they celebrate you. This wants you to be better.
Okay.
Because obviously I won't mind getting that this year as well. And that means I have to do so much for the community, which is something